Welcome to pregame.tv. It's another Big 12 matchup. TCU and Baylor from Waco, Texas. The Baylor Bears opened to 6 in this one, climbed all the way up so far to 9. The total 68. Big news from TCU last week happened on Thursday afternoon when Corey Payhall got pulled over for an alleged DUI. He has since left the team, going to be gone for a semester, going to miss playing football the rest of the season to take care of his off-field problems. So they bring in the young kid, Trayvon Boykin, who comes into this game last week against Iowa State. They go from running the football and being a team that's looking to play a more traditional style of college football into a team that's throwing the ball quite a bit. Problem was, Boykin ended up throwing the ball to a lot of wrong-colored jerseys.
Yeah, he definitely did, and it gives them, I think it makes the offense a little bit more dynamic. He's a running quarterback, and he does have a pretty good arm. I talked a few weeks ago, I had the Baylor, West Virginia is my best bet for the over there, and I kind of talked about teams moving into the Big 12. The Big 12 is known as an offensive conference, and I believe at the time I talked about Texas being the only team that plays defense. I don't think they play any defense since we did that video. But I talked about going from the Big East to the Big 12 and the amount of points scored in the game, and just by taking a look at the Mountain West last year compared to the Big 12 last year, 5.4 more points per game. So I'm looking for higher scoring games here. And TCU, in my opinion, is down defensively. Look at how many good players they sent to the NFL over the last few years. I mean, I don't know if they're that kind of program that can do that. And they played a very weak schedule. Take a look at their schedule: Grambling State, Kansas, Virginia, SMU, Iowa State. Baylor's by far the most dynamic offensive they've faced all season. And
a good point about that is 3 of those teams you just mentioned, I think it was Kansas, Virginia, and SMU. TCU didn't score a whole lot of points, but of course that was under the former game plan with Payhall at quarterback. And as I mentioned to Bryan, he threw 40 times last week talking about Boykin, which is about twice as much as what Payhall wanted to throw when he was under center. So it does start to change the style of offense you're going to see in this one. And Bryan made a point absolutely right on that with Payhall at quarterback, you didn't have a guy who could run with the football and break it the distance. He was great at creating what he had to be under a pass rush. But with Boykin, you got a guy who they're going to call some running plays for this kid. He's not just going to run when things break down. So you're going to have to look at this kid running the football on 2 occasions. Sometimes when they call his own number, and other times when the heat's coming and he can pull it down and take off and break one maybe and at least run for 15, 20 yards at times. So again, you've got a different TCU offense that you're preparing for now. And the last time the Baylor Bears saw a dual threat quarterback, they allowed 70 points. Marco.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. I was set to make a big play on this game until what happened with the quarterback last week. When Baylor played West Virginia 2 weeks ago, as I'm watching that game and in the fourth quarter and just watching them going up and down, and Baylor ended up losing, I immediately, when the game was over, I got my schedule book out, pulled it out. I said, who does Baylor play next? Because I want to go against them. Because everybody's going to watch this game. They're going to see what Baylor did and say, oh, 63 points, they look good in losing. You couldn't look any better in losing than putting up 63 points and losing 70-63. I've always felt that after a game like that, the team is going to be down. There's like a hangover effect, like going out drinking all night. Now, the one thing, the caveat to this is they did have a week off from that game before they're playing this game to help them get over that. But I think it's still a bad spot for Baylor. They've got a bad defense, but I can't back TCU with the quarterback situation. Given the second week, he should cut down the mistakes, you would think, after having, because that didn't happen till middle of the week. I mean, it's not like
it was Thursday. Actually,
yeah, it's not like the quarterback got hurt, the week before, and you had the snaps all week. This week, he's going to have the snaps all week, so he should be better. But I don't know that I can actually pull the trigger. I'm going to probably wait till Saturday and see where the line settles, just how high it goes up. But to me, I can't lay the points with Baylor.
I mentioned it's up to 9 now. Baylor being the favorite in the total 68, Bryan. And something you said about the quarterback, he was thrown into the mix. Yet even with the mistakes, they gained 450 yards against Iowa State. So the kid, he's got some savvy. I watched him. He made rookie mistakes, if you will. He's going to have another week under his belt, as you said. He doesn't have a real healthy backfield around him right now. The running back's a little bit banged up for TCU, which means he might have to put the onus of the offense on his shoulders almost directly for this one, and he wants to throw the football. And then you've got a Baylor secondary that's really banged up here. Now, this is a Baylor defense that's 124th in total defense, 124th against the pass. It would be very easy to come out and say, well, yeah, but it's skewed by those numbers against West Virginia. Well, guess what? They give up 560 to UL Monroe. They gave up over 900 yards combined to SMU and Sam Houston State. This is your best bet. What do you think about this one?
A few weeks ago, we gave out the over in the Baylor game. We're doing it again. Baylor games this year against FBS competition averaging 101.7 points per game. Now, you take a look at the Bears, the TCU last week. Baylor had last week off, an extra week to prepare for this TCU defense. And, TCU's quarterback last week, he threw a lot of picks. Yeah. And he's a young quarterback. When you take a look at this game, they're going to need to score to keep up with Baylor. That means we could see another pick six, maybe two. I mean, with a lot of passes in the air, I'm looking for this game to go over once again.
Great stuff. Bryan Leonard's best bet is the over between TCU and Baylor. He's Marco D'Angelo. He's Bryan. I'm Scott. Stick around all weekend long. College and pro football right here at pregame.tv.